Welcome to a Backyard Ultra podcast. In this episode, Sam Harvey came on. Sam is the New Zealand record holder over the Backyard Ultra format and is coming to Australia to run at the Masters, where he's going to be aiming to break the world record of 101 hours. He's also going to be going to Biggs to run in the individual World Championships in October. Here you go. Okay, g'day Sam, how you going?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. How about yourself?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks. Pretty good. Well done on your top 10 finish at UTA the other day.
Yeah, no, that was pretty good, eh? Just a little warm up for next month.
Yeah, that was awesome. A nice little prize too with that rock and the artwork.
Yeah, I was very stoked with that. The rock with the bluebird on it.
Yeah. So Sam, how long have you been running for?
Seriously, only a couple of years. Endurance sports wise, I've been doing a bit of everything for a long time, really. Yeah, I guess if you nutted it out, probably going back to about like under 14s rugby would be like when I got into sport and was getting pretty good at it and was getting fit and all that, and then probably my last year of high school, I started going to the gym a lot, started running a lot to support my rugby, and then once I was in university, I kind of started doing a bit more endurance sport. So I'd always been riding bikes and stuff, and that was how I would commute around Christchurch, and then that led on to duathlons and triathlons and boxing and whole heap of other random sports. And then it's probably since 2017 I guess I've started competing in running races, just like 5Ks and 10Ks and stuff. And then it was 2018 I jumped up and I did my first ultra marathon, and I won that and broke the course record. And I was like, oh yeah, sweet, ultra marathon's pretty cool. And I did a couple more of them, a 100K and then 100 mile, and then 2021 I did my first backyard ultra, and that was, I guess, the highest performance I'd ever done in ultra marathon format. And so it's realistically been the last 2 and a bit years where I've kind of been knuckling down on the running, especially the ultra distance running, and then kind of throwing away all the distractions, the rugby and the boxing and all that, just so I can kind of streamline myself and get really, really good at one thing.
Yeah. Well, you've had only good results since you've started. From all the ultras you've been in, I can see you finished top 10 in every single one. Is that right? It looks.
Yeah, that's probably right, actually. Apart from Tarawera 100 mile in February, I went out with a bit much of a head of steam and paid for it. I think I might have finished top 10. I don't think I did. I think I might have finished like 12th or 13th. But that was the punishment I got for getting a bit too keen early on and not being smart about it. But mostly kind of podium results, top 10 results.
Mm. And what drew you to the backyard ultra format?
Yeah, well, it's kind of a funny story, really. So I used to live in Tennessee, where obviously the Barkley and Biggs is held. In 2016 I moved over there to play and coach rugby, and so I'd been going there back and forth doing the rugby thing for a couple of years, and then 2019 I met my now wife, and but that was just prior to COVID, and then because of COVID we'd done a heck of a lot of long distance. We'd done 6 months apart, and then we got to see each other again. We were like, oh fuck, we'll never do that again. And then the next stint was 12 months apart. So basically we'd been apart for quite a while, and 2021, it was only maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the the Auckland race, the Riverhead relapse, that I knew I was moving to Auckland, so I was moving to the area, and I went on running calendar, and I was just like, surely I can find some races that are in the area around that time, and this thing popped up, Riverhead relapse, backyard ultra, and I was like, oh, I don't know what that is, and I do a bit of research, and I see the format doesn't really do anything for me, but it's just like, cool, it's an ultra marathon, but I see that if you win it, you get a golden ticket to Tennessee. And I'm like, shit, I haven't seen Anna in a while. Like this could be my chance to get back to my second home and see my girl and see the lads. And yeah, so realistically, that's what got my interest up, and probably why I did so well the first time around, because I guess I had a reason, not just to win.
Yeah. So you did 37 hours and you were the assist, is that right?
Yeah, correct. Yep. So 37 hours. At that point in time, I'd never run anything more than 100 miler, so 160 Ks. So yeah, at that point, I was, I think, 90 kilometers deeper than I'd ever gone, and yeah, a lot longer on foot. So I was kind of in the unknown zone.
And even if you did win, you probably wouldn't have been able to go over to Tennessee anyway because of COVID, right?
I would have gone. Yeah, I mean, I've gone during COVID. It wouldn't have held me back, but
yeah,
I mean, doesn't really matter in the end anyway, because I didn't get it, did I?
So you finished the race, and did you think to yourself, "Oh, this is the best. I want to do. This is my thing," or did you think, "I might do that again another time," or what did you think afterwards?
Well, I thought I was a bit of a pussy, to be fair. I guess I had a lapse in concentration and my mental resolve, and yeah, I guess I hate losing more than I like winning, and yeah, it was just that bitter taste, which is what I was focused on for a while. We only had one backyard ultra in New Zealand at that point in time, so yeah, I guess I figured I'd come back and do it again next year, but yeah, that kind of foiled my plans for a wee while.
And do you remember what? Well, actually, was it harder than you thought it would be? Like,
yeah, I mean, effectively, that first backyard ultra was still quite early in my ultra marathon career. Like, I'd only ever done 100 miler at that point in time. I think I'd done a couple of 50s, I'd done 100, but I'd never gone that deep. And essentially, like, I was very interested in ultra marathon from a neurological standpoint of the, you go deep, you start to hallucinate, and I wanted to explore that weird zone. So in that first backyard ultra, I was essentially leaning into it. Like, when the weird stuff came, I was like, cool, let's dive head first into this. I want to see what happens. I want to see animals that aren't there. I want to see people running around in the woods that aren't there, and just kind of explore this weird zone within my brain. So yeah, I was pushing things, and like I was sleep deprived. I was probably dehydrated. I was malnourished, probably a little bit hypoglycemic. So yeah, I was definitely hurting, and yeah, towards the end, I ran quite a fast lap at one point just to put a bit of steam on the guy that I was running against, and that ended up probably being my downfall, along with a bit of rigorous massage, which I think might have popped a tendon loose. And yeah, basically the next loop after that, I was hobbling, like I limped half a lap, so at least 3 Ks I was limping, and that was the last lap that I did. I probably misjudged my abilities at that point in time, as far as, like, I could have probably kept running. Like, even though I'd limped for that lap, I'd still come in probably 2 or 3 minutes faster than I would normally come through. So but yeah, I just knew that my knee was buggered, and that I was kind of going downhill fast.
Did you reach a stage where you were hallucinating?
In that first one, yeah,
Yeah.
big,
No, cool.
yeah, I was properly out of it in that first one, and I was probably a little bit kind of paranoid, delusional, like thinking
Right.
people are judging me, thinking people were talking about me.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, and like very tense for the last 5 hours. Me and him didn't talk to each other at all, and we
Right.
were shoulder to shoulder. So like,
Yeah.
I guess two alpha dogs just kind of doing their thing, and yeah, it was. You could cut the tension with a knife, and I
Yeah.
felt like at any point in time there was probably a fight going to break out.
Oh, really? And so what happened did you run another one between Riverhead the next year, or was Riverhead the next year the next one you ran?
No, so I did Riverhead in 2021.
Yeah.
I did Pigs Backyard, the
Yeah.
inaugural Pigs Backyard,
Yeah.
at the start of 2022, and I won that, which was cool because that got me my silver ticket for the satellite champs.
Yeah.
And then a couple months later, I ran the Riverhead race again for 2022.
Yeah. And that was the question I had about that one is that I saw there was no last one standing in that one. So what's the story behind that?
That was a little bit of a fuck up from my part, to be honest.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, what did we run? I think we ran 36 laps or something like that. And basically, I was just like I was cool, calm, and collected the whole time. Uh, nothing major out of the ordinary. And then just getting into the evening, I run my laps pretty slow, or at least on that hilly stuff, I run them pretty slow just to reduce the damage to my legs, my hips, and just everything.
Mm.
And so the lads that had managed to stay in the race until the kind of the final few, they had been running their laps quite a lot faster than me. Like they would disappear off, and I would only see them in the corral at the start of each lap, or maybe see them at their tents in between. But yeah, so basically everyone would take off, and I'd do my own thing, and that's fine. It was in the last couple of hours that yeah, basically old mate started going a bit slower, and kind of almost dropping back to my pace. And without thinking about it, my caveman brain just said, "He's weak, attack." And yeah, basically I started jogging with him / walking with him, and I noticed that when I'd walk, he'd walk, and normally he wouldn't walk at all. He'd just continue jogging, and I was like, I wonder if I can pull old mate down to speed and hold him there. And I did. So I'd walk sections that on that particular course, you basically you walk the stuff that you've got to walk, but because there's so much steep stuff, like there are sections that you actually have to run, or you're gonna lose out on time.
Mm.
And so I was walking a lot of the stuff that you had to run, and he was doing the same. And I was like, okay. And so I started doing the math, and I was like, what would it take to time this guy out if I slowed him right down?
Yeah.
Like I'm not holding him back. He's doing his own thing, but if there's not much time on the clock, I can disappear him. And I was getting pretty keen on the idea of having an evening finish rather than a midnight or an early morning finish, and having a few beers with the mates. So yeah, basically without consulting my crew or anything, and doing sleep deprived maths, which no one should do when they're running. I decided that at this particular point, I was basically going to walk him down to it on the next lap, and then just kind of gun it through the forest, and just not leave him enough time to finish his lap. And we did that, and boy, God, we were walking like we were pushing it, and I guess he just. I'm not sure if he didn't care, or if he wasn't aware, or because he wasn't wearing a watch at all, which I found fascinating. And yeah, got into this. Basically, we've been walking for ages. I think there's 5 minutes on the clock left, or 10 minutes on the clock left, and then we get from this open section of road into a forest and come around a corner, and then I just take off. And like I got some pace, so I was just like, sweet, you're gone, buddy. Like there's no way you can catch me. And I just fear opened up the tank, and I'm going. I look at my watch, and I'm like, you have 4 minutes to run a section that usually takes you about 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I was like, you really need to go, mate. So I was going, and there's this little kind of, you come out of the forest, and there's this last few 100 meters is a bit of a chicane section through these flags, which is where they have the race base. And as I come out of the trees, they just go 3, 2, 1, done. And I'm like, no, you idiot. And I get to the end, and yeah, little did I know that I was going off the timer on my watch. And at one point on the first day, I'd actually stopped my watch.
Right.
So the minutes on my watch weren't actually the rounded figure past the hour. So yeah, I was doing rough maths with a watch that wasn't even on time, and yeah, I cooked my chips on that one, which I take on the chin. And I missed out on my silver ticket, which I was a bit gutted on, because my initial plan earlier in the year was there are 3 silver ticket races and then a golden ticket race in New Zealand this year. I want to wipe the board and win every silver ticket plus the golden ticket.
Yeah.
Just to make a bit of a statement, and that kind of stuffed up my plans, because I won both the other silver tickets and I won the golden ticket, but I missed out on the perfect score.
Yeah. So do you enjoy the psychological aspect of it as well, like with the other opponents, with the other runners?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a very, very psychological athlete.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
Always have been.
Yeah. And you mentioned by the way, you mentioned rugby. What kind of did you reach a high standard with your rugby?
Yeah. So I mean, I was playing senior men's in New Zealand, 2016. Like I was I was playing some pretty hot shit footy, for my local club in Christchurch. And then at the end of that season was when I moved over to the US. So I was doing like back to back rugby seasons, not giving my body any rest, but yeah, just absolutely hammering on it. And yeah, I was pretty good at that point. I was very fit, very aggressive, and yeah, just a good solid rugby player. But yeah, I guess I hit my peak, and then I kind of started playing around with other things like ultramarathon and triathlon, and I was just doing a bit too much. And yeah, it is unfortunate, but there's no longevity in rugby, so I kind of weighed up my options and decided I was a better rugby coach than playing for too much longer, because it was only impacting my main sports.
Yeah, sure. So then we've got Riverhead. That was just a month or so ago, and you were the last one standing. But you did it. I don't know if it's true or not, but everyone was saying you did it with broken ribs.
Yeah, the race was on the Saturday, and I broke my ribs on the Tuesday or the Wednesday.
Man, I thought you were going to say you did them like a month before and they'd almost healed, but they were that fresh.
They were fresh.
Yeah.
They were proper fresh.
How did it happen?
It was at a team building exercise for my work, and one of the competition things they had us do was, we were at a bowls green, and they made us go and pick up items out on the bowls green. like in individual teams, and but they had us blindfolded, and it got progressively worse from like someone would guide you, and you'd walk out and you'd pick stuff up to yeah, your team would guide you to the point where like they would just have you run to the opposite side of the bowls green, pick up this item, and then run back, and you'd be blindfolded, and you'd have the whole company down one end yelling at you, so you couldn't really discern what was going on. And yeah, I just opened up because I was like, if I can do this fast, then we can win. So I did it fast, but on the return journey, I ran into one of the big Samoan boys and took a shoulder in the ribs, and yeah, he dropped me, and I was instantly not right, and I was hoping I'd come right towards the end of the day, but I was pretty unwell for the rest of the week leading into the race, and I was just like, oh well, she's a bit of a handicap, so bit of a leveler, so we'll just crack on and get the race done.
Yeah. Well, like a bowling green is probably the last place you'd expect to get injured.
It was a turf bowling green, so it had like it was hard pack. It was concrete underneath.
Oh, okay. And did you almost not run at Riverhead because of it?
No. I mean, I like a challenge.
Yeah.
I just saw that as a bit of a leveler to bring me down to the field and just give me another problem to deal with.
Yeah.
One problem to fix on top of a laundry list of other problems to fix.
Yeah. So did you change any of your usual strategies or tactics to manage the broken ribs?
Not really. Not at all. Apart from the fact that I couldn't get a full lung of air without it being horrendously painful. So for most of the race, I just didn't use my lungs properly. So I was taking kind of half breaths, which is a bit impeding because obviously I'm not getting as much oxygen in the tank. Occasionally when I'd get extremely short of breath, like because I knew I'd been doing so much half lung breathing, I would actively take a full breath of air, and it would crunch the ribs up a bit, but like I'd get that, and I just kind of wince in pain, deal with it, and at least kind of control my breathing a bit before I went back to the little half breaths.
Did you keep it a secret from the other runners so it didn't give them like strength?
No.
They all knew.
No, I broadcast that. I thought it was funny as hell.
Yeah. So it must have been a special race as well because you won. Laz was there, and like he wrote a poem about the race, and he referred to you as the legend and the gunfighter.
Yeah, that's some pretty positive talk from the big man himself. So I definitely appreciated that.
Yeah, yeah. Did you have a nickname when you were doing boxing? You know how fighters have nicknames. Did you have a nickname when you were boxing?
Not really. I find self-given nicknames a little bit pretentious.
Yeah, yeah. Because there are runners with nicknames like you got the White Kenyan, you got the Backyard King, you got Running Beast. So now, like Laz is referred to as the gunfighter. Do you reckon like that can be your nickname?
I mean, yeah, it could. I guess I don't want to be too proud. Like,
yeah,
if I could exist in the sport and just be a ghost and not exist, just kind of go on my little pilgrimage to pain and achieve everything I set out to, then yeah, without a name, then that would be great. But I guess I can't do that. And in all reality, I guess with this being more, with my running being for more than just me now, like for me supporting causes and people and I essentially trying to shine a light into other people's lives. I guess at some point you almost need to have that brand, that name or that nickname, just so yeah they've got something to relate to. So I guess yeah, if it eventuates, it eventuates. But yeah, as I say, if I could just hide in the corner and then come out every now and then and do these big races, then that would be my ideal scenario. And just yeah, let everybody else have the glory.
Yeah, yeah. It's like Dorian Yates, you know, the bodybuilder, Dorian Yates, his nickname was the Shadow because
Uh-huh.
he would train in Birmingham, and the only time anyone would see him was at like the big bodybuilding competitions, and he won Mr. Olympia like 4 times and stuff like that. And yeah, it's kind of like that. But
Mm,
that trailer for Riverhead looks awesome.
yeah, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. It's going to be a sick movie.
Have you haven't seen any you haven't had a sneak peek or a sneak preview of the whole thing?
I've seen the trailer. I haven't seen any kind of sneak peek of the final product, but I trust it's going to be awesome because yeah, they make some awesome videos. I mean, Chasing Ponamu and the likes are phenomenal. So I'm sure this one's going to be of the same caliber.
Yeah, yeah, you can tell. I can't wait. I keep on checking their page to see if it's out yet because it says May, so it should be out soon.
Really? Okay, sick.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that then.
yeah. So I saw recently on your Instagram stories as well, you were trying to lure Goggins into trying to qualify for bigs and do a backyard ultra and stuff like that. So did he respond to you?
Nah, I just keep on baiting him. It's just a little bit of fun to see if he bites. But I actually think I'm probably a little bit too polite to him because he only seems to
Yeah.
respond to rude bastards. So maybe I need to up my game and just start heckling him a bit harder.
Like he's got everything though. Like if he did a backyard ultra, like he would. I'd be shocked if he didn't do well. Like he would have to do well, wouldn't he?
I reckon he might go for a couple of days, but with his buggered knees, I'd say yeah, he might be a little bit past it, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah. Does he give you inspiration? Like what he says is like his videos and stuff like that? Is he like a do you look up to him a bit?
I've definitely listened to a fair bit of his content over the years, just listening to motivational speakers. Uh, I actually I kind of have a problem with some of his teachings of 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 all the teachings that I've listened to, just because I think he's a little bit over the top as far as the toxicity goes, and what he teaches is that you're a little bitch. And yeah, I mean, for the most part, there's a lot of soft people out there in comparison to people within our ultra distance sport. But at the end of the day, like, I mean, if you're happy with your life and you're kind of you're not pushing outside the box, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And I guess yeah, I push for high achievement, but I'm not going to belittle someone because they've settled into something that they're happy with. And yeah, I just think people need to be aware of that because yeah, it's not one size fits all.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can achieve happiness without being the highest performer in the room.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. The so I mean it's obvious that you've got the right mindset for backyard ultras and but like you've got to be mentally tough. It looks like you're really good at managing pain. But have you always been like a tough dude?
I mean, I think there's probably two sections to the answer on that question. Is like, yeah, I manage pain well, and I've dealt with some gnarly shit during my life, and so my my outlook is that people people have a poor definition of what pain is. Like, pain is losing a loved one. Pain is a long distance relationship. Pain is a lifetime of suffering. what we deal with in running is just discomfort, and discomfort is survivable. So yeah, I'm capable of dealing with a lot of discomfort, but at the same time, I manage things in a way that I avoid discomfort for as long as possible. People that see that I do this sport, they say, "Oh, you're a sucker for punishment." It's like, I am, but I'm not. Like, the whole time I'm doing things in a way that I manage it, that like it's a lot longer that before I'm in pain than other athletes are. Like, you might be in pain in the first few hours, but I might not be in pain for a couple of days. I mean, the Satellite Championship was a pretty prime example of that last year. That was the furthest I've run so far, at 308 kilometers. And honestly, like, I recovered the best after that race, compared to any race that I've recovered from. And like, probably a testament to that was once my assist Scotty had given up, and it was time for me to do my victory lap. That victory lap was the fastest lap recorded by any runner at the Satellite Championship in the world that year. I think the fastest lap at that point was 31 minutes, and my final lap at 308 kilometers was 28 and a half minutes, just because I was feeling on fire. Like, I wasn't in pain, I was just kind of warming up, so I could have done another couple of days happily.
Yeah. I saw there's one video on YouTube where there was the Sat Champs it was before you were in it. Katie Wright won, and she actually voluntarily, she didn't have to do it. She actually did another lap at the end to make. I'm pretty sure that's how it seemed anyway. Is that a thing in New Zealand that you do that, or is it just she decided to do it that time?
I haven't watched that documentary in a while, so I'm not totally sure as to the additional lap that you're referring to. I mean, so when I did my victory lap, it was because we'd done one lap together, and then Scott didn't start the next lap, so obviously I had to do one more lap to win. But yeah, possibly Katie did do another lap. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they said, "Oh, do you want to do one more lap to make you 40, like 30 hours or something like that?" And she went on and did it. Yeah,
totally.
So I mean, this is obviously the first time we've ever spoken and stuff like that. But you're obviously a pretty like you're deep thinking guy. Like, have you ever had a mindset coach or anything like that, or is you just a deep thinker?
No, not at all. I guess I've always been a bit of a weird dude. Far too much time on my own to think about things, and I guess that's why I like running. Always running and biking, so I've got plenty of time to meditate and go into deep thought. Probably about 2016 when I went to the US. It's kind of when my whole life changed. I kind of went from this kind of one lane road to spicing it up with sport and travel and all the crazy shit that I've done in the last few years. And about 2016, 2017, I did start listening to like a lot of motivational speakers on like YouTube and stuff like that, and like to the point that for probably 3 years at least, I was just playing that type of content on repeat, to the point that it's just ingrained in my brain. And I've got a lot of tools that I use in daily life as a result of that. A lot of Stoic philosophy, and then just a lot of the great speakers of the 20th century.
Yeah, awesome. So when it gets tough in a backyard ultra for you, like, where do you go mentally, and what kind of things go through your mind to keep you going?
When it gets tough in a backyard ultra, I just kind of dissociate, really.
Yeah,
Uh, I go somewhere else, and quite often for a backyard ultra, I'm somewhere else for most of it.
yeah,
I'm I'm away with the fairies. I'm listening to music. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm meditating on uh fundamental concepts of life and random shit like that.
you mentioned before that when you were running at Riverhead or one of the other ones, you're running for like 6 hours with this guy and you didn't say a word with him the whole time.
Uh,
Is that standard for you? Do you not talk when you're out there to the other runners or
no, not at all. I think that was just two possibly like-minded people,
right?
and I was going into it blind, so I didn't really know backyard ultra or anything. I was just going in there with this aggressive mindset of I need this golden ticket so I can see my girl.
Yeah.
You're getting in my way by racing with me. So I had that kind of uh, scrappy aggression from the get go, and I feel like he matched that. So yeah, we were tense.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a bit of a legend in our sport. He's won every race and got half the records for all the major ultras in New Zealand. So he's a bit of a big deal, and I had kind of fanboyed him in previous years. So it was definitely a challenge, and I was coming at it with everything I had. So generally though, generally though, we'll have lots of chats because I mean you're out there for a couple of days. Shit gets boring if you don't have much of a conversation. Obviously, a lot easier if you're on flatter courses. Uh, Riverhead is not one of those courses, but yeah, you get your opportunities. You have yarns, especially at the satellite champs. By the end of that, damn, I'd I'd heard about everyone's kids and their families and what they did and where they're from, and you almost run out of stuff to talk about by the end of it.
What's the biggest problem you've faced during a backyard ultra that you've overcome?
Yeah, for sure. So I would say the backyard ultra in Christchurch, that was held in June 2022, and it's the crazy midwinter backyard ultra. It's held at the beach or in a pine forest on the border of the beach. So mostly you're running through pine forest. There is one stretch where you run about 1,000 meters on sand dunes, and it's all winding in and out. And then it's also middle of winter. It's frozen, like sub-zero the whole time, and you're running under the pine canopy. So even when the sun comes out, it's still frozen under the trees. So it's just cold and sucky the whole time. And I went into that race already having just done the South Sydney 24-hour track race only like 2 or 3 weeks before, and I'd really hurt myself, like to the point where I went to doctors and they're like, "You've stuffed your hip, you've stuffed your ankle, you've stuffed your knee,"
Right.
And like it took me about 6 months to heal from injuries from that. But basically, I went into that and I'd only done 100 miles before I pulled out because I knew that I was really gonna give myself long-term damage if I didn't pull out at that point. So 100 miles on the track, which is brutal. Like 100 mile road running is pretty hectic. And so I went into the crazy backyard ultra with stuffed legs. Like I already felt like I'd run a backyard, and I was on toeing the start line, so I didn't know what was going to happen. Basically just said like, let's do it. Ran the race and got to the 24-hour mark. just at the 24-hour mark, I come around a corner and my toe kind of like rolls in my shoe, and as it rolls within the shoe, a whole heap of flesh tears off my big right toe, like I'd say blister, but like it was more than a blister. It was just a huge mass of of skin, and I was like, like I felt it burn.
Yeah.
And then I kept running on it, and it was just like flesh against shoe against sock against.
Oh.
It was not good, and I think I had a K or two left to get back to the base, and it just burnt and it burnt and it burnt and it stuck. And I've never had anything like that in a race before. Got back to finish that lap, got back to the tent, and I just laid down, and I say to Mum, I think I'm fucked. Like, I think my race is done, and I'm kind of screaming because it's in pain. We ripped the shoe and the sock off, and we bandage it up, and I'm just like, shit, I can't even, like, I'll just start this next loop and see what happens. And I start running on it, and within 100 meters, I'm good. Just by luck, I guess. So that's the most gruesome and hardcore thing I've experienced in a backyard, that I've been like, oh, this is me done.
Yeah.
And I've managed to pull through. And so that was the 24-hour mark, and I won that one in 35 hours. So we still went for another 11 hours after that. Whoopsie.
Yeah. Well, what did it look like at the end when you took your shoe off?
Mashed up, and I guess it had absorbed enough sweat that, you know, when you kind of get all trench footy,
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. And sometimes that's the best thing for a blister, is if it gets all wet, because at least then I guess the nerve endings must die off or something, and
Right.
becomes a little bit less sensitive.
Yeah. Did that take long to like recover from?
Yeah, I want to say I didn't run for a good couple of months after that. Like I'd injured myself at the South Sydney race, and then I'd compounded those injuries by doing that Christchurch race. So pretty sure from memory I chilled out for a couple of months after that.
Yeah. So how do you manage sleep in backyard ultras? Do you have like a sleep strategy and things like that?
Just sleep as you need, really. If I need sleep, come in, pass out. I mean, even 60 seconds of sleep is a godsend sometimes. I've had 60 seconds of sleep when I felt like I was dying, and woken up from that, and it's like I've knocked back 5 coffees, and I'm good to go. And basically wait till the sun comes up and hit that diurnal rhythm, and back into it, really.
Yeah. So you have no troubles going to sleep when you need to? Because some people, they just can't sleep. They try and they just can't, but you can just zonk out when you need to.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is a blessing, I guess.
Yeah.
Probably a few lads and ladies out there that don't have that ability, and as a result, they might not be able to get to that 3 or 4 or 5 day mark.
Do you have any favourite things to eat during the cards?
Yeah, I'm a bit spoiled. My mum and dad come to most of my races, and mum puts on a good spread, and I'll eat a bit of everything, really. So I'll be eating sweet stuff and savoury stuff. Quite often have a bit of venison and steak and that during the race, but pretty consistent on the carbs and hydration. Just getting all the goodies in. I have discovered a couple of things which I won't allude to, but just a couple little snacks that I've discovered in the supermarkets here in New Zealand that go well, that are savoury or sweet, and they cover my calories. And I guess I've trained myself to basically say, like, you need X amount of calories every hour. Uh, you need this amount of carbs. You need this amount of protein. Yada yada yada. Uh, Sometimes you're not going to feel like it, and I have just disciplined myself the last kind of year or so that if I need to get the nutrition on board, I force myself to get it on board during my breaks. I don't miss an hour of getting food on board.
Yeah. What about electrolytes? Do you have a strategy for like keeping your electrolytes in balance? Like, do you have salt tablets, or do you just drink Tailwind, or what do you do?
Um, Tailwind I don't generally like because it's just a bit hardcore on the taste buds.
Yeah.
Uh, I generally use this cheap drink mix that we have in New Zealand called Vitasport. It's like per unit of electrolyte, it's the cheapest stuff you can get on the market. So I just go into the supermarket and load up with that, and basically knock back a sachet or two every hour. And that sometimes I'll just rely solely on that for my carbohydrate, for my calories for the hour. But yeah, I'm pretty consistent of just knocking back a hydration flask every hour, and that sees me through. And yeah, I've never really had any problems. So salt tablets would probably be a little bit too far for me, but that's just with my particular hydration strategy.
Yeah. And you mentioned earlier that you do run with headphones in. Like,
Mm.
what kind of music do you like listening to?
Um, I thrash Ozzy Osbourne and Machine Gun Kelly quite a bit to the point where everybody knows in my running circle that those are the two key ones that I'm banging out. And yeah, to the point where everybody's sick of hearing Machine Gun Kelly, but it's just something energetic. Maybe I'm getting sick of it too. I'm not sure, but yeah, just heavier stuff.
Yeah.
Quite often heavier stuff, or weird shit like a little bit of tribal music, a little
Yeah.
bit of pagan metal, Viking metal, stuff like that.
And do they know that about it because you're singing along while you're running with them, or how do they know about it? Or you just have it turned up really loud?
I turned up really loud, or I played it out loud, or I like the people that crew me
Oh,
are friends and family. So this is the stuff that I'm playing in general. So yeah,
yeah.
they're aware of my music choice.
Did you ever play music when you were like a kid?
Yeah, no, I was lead singer and a guitarist in a band in high school.
Oh yeah,
So,
cool.
and I've played around with a few instruments over the years.
Yeah,
Another thing that's gone by the wayside, so I can focus on my running.
yeah. And with the songs that you listen to, is it just music that fires you up, or do you choose specific songs that lock into your cadence?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. Honestly, it varies. If I want to get nostalgic and on my life in America, then I'm listening to some good solid country music. If I'm trying to get fired up, then it might be metal, rock, or maybe even some techno stuff if I'm feeling a bit weird. And yeah, it just really depends. I mean, I'll listen to a lot of Joe Rogan podcasts. One of the most memorable parts of the Riverhead race just gone was, I think I listened to a 3 hour interview of like Joe Rogan with Luke Combs, and like he's a guy who lives in Nashville, which is where I used to live, and he's talking about country music, and he's just got a southern drawl, and yeah, and talking about hunting and all the stuff that I'm into. So yeah, that's kind of just what keeps me entertained and almost keeps me company, really. Like if I'm listening to a podcast, particularly Joe Rogan type stuff, it's like I've got buddies there with me that I'm listening in on.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't listen to it as much as I used to, but I used to listen to Joe Rogan like
Yeah.
nothing. I would never miss an episode. Since he moved to Spotify, for some reason, I've slowed down a bit. But yeah, I still like watching his clips on YouTube, highlights and stuff like that. Very good. So when are you getting to Australia for the Masters?
So I fly in the morning before, so I think I land at like 7 a.m. on the Friday.
Yeah.
Me and Sean are picking up a camper van or caravan or something, and yeah, then we're driving. I guess we'll drive to the supermarket and pick up supplies, and then we'll drive on to Dead Cow Gully and set up our camp and basically just make all the preparations and then camp out the night and then get silly the next morning.
Are you coming? Are you bringing a crew with you?
Yeah, so at the moment, my mum and dad are coming,
Mm.
and yeah, we've got pretty good systems as far as them supporting me. I've got flights booked for my wife as well, and we're just tentative on whether she'll come or not, due to whether she can get leave or not, and then also she is definitely not of this strange world that I am, and so yeah, sitting in a paddock for 4 days gets at her a wee bit. So yeah, we'll see if she wants to come on the day.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you know if you're going to have your own marquee? Will you be sharing with another runner? Or you're not too sure yet, or what?
Yeah, so I think the race director is providing that type of stuff for us as far as a marquee and camping chairs and all that. Yeah, so we can kind of have a centralized base for us Kiwis because there's 7 of us coming over as runners, and then we've obviously got our crew and stuff. Sean Collins, he's got a caravan which he's going to use as his HQ, and then I think help a few other people out with that. My mum and dad are renting out a camper van, so they're going to use that. So yeah, we'll all just kind of share as best we can, and then when people start pulling out, hopefully we'll be able to start looking after each other and make sure people get the distance that they want.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we should have all the resources that we need at this stage.
Well, apparently Nanango town's about 10 minutes drive. So if you've got anyone there'll be people who can drive down there and pick up any supplies you need.
Yeah, no, totally.
So I saw the I don't know what you call it, a design or logo that the Kiwis made, like with the Kiwi shooting a laser into the dead cow on the Australian map. Did you design that one, or?
No, so Sean, I had a similar idea, but no, Sean Collins, he created that.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically the Kiwi with the laser eyes is we had a unsuccessful flag referendum for New Zealand quite a few years back, and it became so farcical that someone ended up creating a Kiwi or a flag with a laser eye Kiwi on it, and it got to the point where like people were like, no, stuff the other options, like we want the laser eye Kiwi, and yeah, that became this big pop culture thing. So yeah, makes sense. We're going to use that. I'm just working on getting some apparel for the team manufactured at the moment, and yeah, we'll flick that on.
Yeah, I heard that you're going to have it on a t-shirt.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah.
I personally wanted a horde of angry Kiwis eating a whole heap of kangaroos and other native Australian wildlife, but yeah, that would have been a lot of effort, and Sean did the artwork already, so he saved me the job.
Yeah. Do you plan everything, well, your races lap by lap, like in detail?
Not really. As far as I just have all of my supplies available and ready to go at any point in time, whether it's shoes, socks, change of clothes, different kinds of food, different hydration, and basically it's all there at the ready. I'm more particular about recording what goes on every hour, and that way, regardless of if my crew want to look through that and check whether something's been missed within systems and processes, that whether there's things that supposed to happen every hour or every few hours and maybe we've missed them, they can essentially check that, or it allows me to basically retrospectively check through what happened in that race and then figure out any kind of correlation between things that went well or things that went bad and what might have caused them at that particular time.
Yeah, cool. So, I mean, you've made it no secret that you're going to be going for the world record, and a lot of people are predicting for the race to go over 100 hours as well. So what will you be changing, if anything, going in at the Masters to go that 100 hours?
Nothing really. I've got some pretty amazing and reliable systems that I've developed over the last half a dozen backyard ultras and all my other racing. And I'm just going in with the confidence that if I execute and do exactly what I've done at my higher performing races, if I can replicate what I did at the satellite champs at this, basically I see myself going 100 plus pretty confidently. Obviously the last couple of days or that last day get a little bit hairy, but I just essentially haven't had the assist to get me there thus far. So I'm looking forward to having all the key principles in play, including a hefty pack of hardcore runners that know how to go very deep in a backyard ultra.
Yeah, definitely. The one of the things you mentioned earlier is that you starting to get involved in more like in a charity and running for people and things like that. And I saw that you've got a bit of a drive with this run to raise money for a charity. So can you tell me a bit about that as well?
Yeah, no, it's something that I've been meaning to do for a while, because I guess with my own running, when it started or when I got into it, was, I guess, a lot very, very focused on my own mental health, as many runners are. It's just a good way to clear your head and just keep your noggin ticking over and happy. And I guess I wanted to one day be able to do that for others and use my running in multiple ways to help on a mental health front. So we have this charity in New Zealand called I Am Hope, and part of that is Gumboot Friday, and basically it's to improve societal awareness of mental health and basically help young people with on that front. And as of last week, I've agreed to be the newest ambassador for I Am Hope. So I'm just doing a bit of a raise at the moment, hoping that I can hit the $10,000 mark before the end of this event. And the money's already flowing in, which is pretty awesome. It's for a good cause. And as I look to knock more stuff off, this world record attempt, hopefully get that one, and then the world championship later in the year, and then maybe some silly stuff like the length of New Zealand and some other big runs. And just trying to make my running more than just about my journey, but helping other people on theirs.
Yeah, cool. The you mentioned Biggs, and the thing with Biggs is that there is going to be a more minimalist approach at Biggs, like you're only allowed to have one crew member and things like that. So are you going to use or try and like simulate the conditions at Biggs a little bit at the Masters to just try out something new or try and get used to those kind of Biggs conditions?
Nah, I mean, I'm very fluid and very adaptable, and that's one of my strengths. Give me a challenge, and I'll overcome it. So, yeah, regardless of what happens, I don't think I need a trial run of Biggs conditions. I mean, at the end of the day, we were running around in circles for a few days. Gotten pretty good at that. Regardless of if I'm in a tent with a dozen other people that don't speak English or whatever. Yeah, I'm pretty confident going into that. So yeah, next month at Dead Cow, it'll essentially just be doing anything that I can, anything that's required to get me to that world record mark, and then when we go to Biggs in October, yeah, I think it's just going to be a whole different kind of weird at the same time as being very similar to things I've already done, and yeah, I'll just tackle it when I get there.
Yeah, it's no, look, it's really exciting because I mean, your best is 46, isn't it? And just knowing that you can have the opportunity to just double that at least, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, very excited for that.
Are there any runners that are going to be at the Masters that you're looking forward to running with in particular?
Yeah, definitely. Pretty keen to meet old Bill Gore. I think we're both following each other on Strava now and probably stalking each other to see what techniques each other's got going on. Not that it really bloody matters because it's such a unique format of racing, but yeah. So I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of weirdos coming out of the woodwork. Which yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting more strange bastards like myself.
Yeah,
Definitely looking forward to meeting Harvey. Yeah, just looking forward to a bit of a racing festival. To be honest, I
yeah,
love the community of these races. I love the format that allows us to kind of go slow. It's not a point to point race where you basically take off and you can't expend any energy on chatting to people. Like this is a very social race format, and yeah, this this is my form of meeting people and getting out in the world. So yeah, looking forward to whoever I may cross paths with.
yeah. It's going to be awesome. So, seeing as though you've obviously got your ticket for Tennessee already.
Not yet. So I mean, obviously I got my golden ticket, so I'm qualified. I've paid my race entry for Biggs. I have not yet booked my flights, so just holding off on that until I know where I'm living and what job I'm working and all that.
Yeah.
Because I actually resigned from my job today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Handed in my notice, effective immediately. So yeah, been in that role for over 2 years now, and I moved from Christchurch to Auckland. So I moved from the middle of the South Island to the top of the North Island for this job a couple of years ago, and now I've quit it, and I'm like, oh shit, and now I'm stuck in the North Island. So yeah, maybe I'll move back to Christchurch. Maybe who knows?
Well, where were you working before? Like, or what industry?
So I've got an undergraduate and a postgraduate degree in agriculture, and both kind of commerce and in the agricultural sciences. So most of my life I've worked in dairy, cropping, sheep and beef. Basically, from a science standpoint, had a few years working in a government role, and a I guess a biological control setting as far as we were eradicating a disease in cattle. Uh, and then obviously I've had my time in the US doing my rugby stuff. But yeah, a couple of years ago, I switched into property just for a bit of a change, and that's where I am now. So
Mm.
yeah,
Cool. So are you just going to like see what happens? Are you going to have a holiday, see what happens kind of thing? And
yeah. Well, I've got a couple of awesome offers on the table at the moment. And yeah, just working with a few sponsors at the moment and drumming up a few more. I mean, effectively, if I could get to the point where I was just running full time in fundraising, which is an option if I can pull the right levers, then that would be great. But yeah, there's a few different things presenting themselves to me at the moment, and I'm kind of building a bit of a pathway. So yeah, the next uh, the next 12 months at least look like they're going to be pretty fun.
yeah, awesome. Yeah. Well, I can't wait to run with you at the Masters. It's going to be awesome to meet in real life and stuff like that. Um, how do people find you and donate to the charity you're running for and stuff like that?
Good question. So yeah, if you wanted to find me, obviously my name's Sam Harvey, and on Instagram I go by Cloudlander, or Cloudlander underscore NZ.
Yes.
And then the charity, so it's I've got a Give a Little page and donating to I Am Hope, but my Give a Little page is titled Sam's World Record Attempt, fundraising for mental health. And yeah, if you give me a search up on that and jump on that link and donate, I'm trying to hit $10,000 for youth mental health by the end of the race, and yeah, it'd be great if we could hit that target.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks again for coming on, Sam. It's been really good.
No
And
worries at all, mate.
and
I appreciate having a chat with you, and likewise, I look forward to running with you at the Masters. And I did see you dropped me a few dollars on the fundraiser today, so I appreciate that also.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, well, I'm going to try and hang in there for as long as I possibly can. Hopefully, make it to 100 myself. So we'll see how we go.
Nice. What's your current pick?
Oh, my current PB is 26, so I'll just have to do that 4 more times.
Yeah, just get your systems and processes, be nice and consistent. I
Yeah,
mean, I think I think it was Ivo. Ivo's previous best was something like 45 or 46,
yeah,
and then he
I think it was 50. Yeah,
yeah, and then he cracked the 101 at the satellite champs. So I mean, yeah, provided you've got the competition and you're seriously going to have the competition this time around, yeah, anything's possible, just so long as you're kind of ticking all the boxes round after round.
yeah. I think it's the mind with me. Like when I finished on my 26, I mean, like what everyone said, I definitely could have kept going, but it was just, I was, there was only three left at that time. And I thought, oh, this is pretty good. 26 is pretty good. I'm going to run at the Masters and see how I go. Yeah, but yeah, look, I'm not going to stop. I'm driving all the way up from Melbourne for it. So I'm not going to stop at 26, that's for sure.
Yeah, make the investment worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, if you focus on just the lap that you're in, a big thing that people do is kind of set themselves on a milestone. It's like
Yeah.
milestones are shit. Just shut up and run, and just keep running until someone tells you to stop because you're done. And
Yeah.
then that's how you win a backyard ultra. If you get caught up with this big task in front of you, then that's how you blow it out of proportion, and you're just like, oh shit, like I've got a huge job ahead of me. I just never focus on the job ahead and just the lap that I'm in. It's just like just finish this lap, start, and then once that's over, it's just start this next lap and then finish this lap and carry on. You are you are right here, so focus on what's right here, and everything else is of no consequence really.
I think the main problem I have with my mindset. As soon as I start going negative, I find it really hard to go positive again.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
because you don't have much time in a backyard ultra, you've got to be able to switch it to the positive really quickly. Otherwise,
Mm.
you'll just turn back or time out or not even get off the chair.
The most powerful thing a human can do is change their mind.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Hey, well, thanks again, Sam, and I'll see you in a few weeks.
No worries. Cheers, Pato. I appreciate it. I'll see you in a few weeks.
Yep. Have a good night.
You too, man. See ya.
Yeah. If you've enjoyed this podcast, it would be awesome if you could share, comment, like, subscribe, all of that. If you've got any feedback, shoot me a message. Hope you have a great day. See ya.